Hello and welcome back to Dungeons and Dragons: A Darkened Wish, Season 2, Episode 1. Oh, and then this is seamless, y'all, because we've been off for a little while, and I went through and I put in my name of the episode in the wrong spot. So I just want you to know, in the time in between seasons, I've gotten no better at any of this. Season 2, Episode 1, There Are No Foreign Lands. It is the traveler only that is foreign. If you are not familiar with our show, besides being a seamless operation, this is canonical to the events of the comic book Dungeons and Dragons: A Darkened Wish. These are the heroes that you know and love. This is just at a different point in their lives. If you're intimately familiar with the book, this is somewhere around the events of issue 2, just before the events of issue 2. For those of you that were with us last season, and if not, you can, of course, go get caught up on YouTube. Not now, after now, then go watch it on YouTube. This is roughly 2 to 3 weeks after the Battle of Skullport. Before I go much further, I have to make sure that we pay special heed to the people that make this possible. So let's meet our heroes. I'm actually going to introduce you in the order that you are on my screen, which may or may not be the order that you are on their screen. So first, Aki. Who were you? Yes, who are you? Who are you playing?
Hi, everybody. It's been a while for me, too. Here we go. I'm Aki, and I'm playing Kerrin and Karrin.
Yes, the real wondrous twins. I have to make sure I change it so we don't get sued. Alcuin.
Hey, I'm Alcuin Gersh, and I'm playing Rayonde, the Dragonborn monk.
May.
Hello there, I'm Mayleigh Damage, and I will be playing Helene.
I've missed that hair. I have missed that hair. Yes. D'Artagnan.
Hello, and I've missed everyone. I'm D'Artagnan, and I play Xander, the reluctant hero.
It's true, but you just make it look easy, though. It's just effortless.
I learned from the best.
It was Sam. Sam was the best that you learned from. Yeah, right. That's true. Speaking of Sam DeLeve.
Hey, I'm Sam, and I am your charming swashbuckling rogue. Oh, and I play Aiden.
Also true. And we have a special guest. Now, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't mean to inadvertently disrespect anyone, but this is our first guest on A Darkened Wish, isn't it? I think so. If I go back over the tail of the tape and I forgot somebody, I'm sorry, but I'm pretty. If you're not the first guest ever, you're definitely the first guest of season 2, Mr. Todd Kendrick.
Well, that's the secret to season 1 is I'm in the background the entire time. You just don't know it. Rewatch all of season 1 and you'll see Averin lurking in the shadows. I'm Todd Kendrick. I play Averin, the trickster god who's not that powerful and not that much of a little G, not a big G. And I'm very excited to join everyone today.
You're still a big G in here, though. It's like it's in there. Again, as independent content creators, we rely both on your generosity in the form of bits and tips, but also by you supporting our sponsors that make this show possible. First and foremost, thank you to Q Times for having us and making this possible. Q Times has amazing content. If not 7 days a week, darn near. I don't know. There are Q Times production overlords. If you have a link to the schedule, please feel free to drop it in chat. But yes, you can find fine streaming content featuring a number of these faces almost every night of the week. D&D Beyond, of course, very subtle. The official digital tool set and game companion for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. You have online versions of all the books for character sheets. Now there's dice integrated into it. Mr. Todd Kendrick, I don't mean to completely put you on the spot, but I know Therios is there. Do you, and it's fine if you don't know, can you say how soon the Rime of the Frost Maiden will be available on D&D Beyond?
I believe that is I believe that's the 15th of some month. I don't remember. I've been so busy doing the marketing for it that I don't remember the date.
Again, zone of safety. You're a very busy man. I get it. But it's going to be
amazing.
It's true.
I've not been this excited for an adventure in 5th edition since Curse of Strahd. So I'm super. It's just going to be amazing. I'm very excited. That's all I have to say.
It will be available on the 5th of Neverwary, yes. But you'll get it first. One way or another, you will get it first on D&D Beyond because it will be available digitally before the hard copy ship. Is that true, or am I making stuff up?
Sorry, I was just looking it up for you, and I got distracted.
I just appreciate you were like, I'm gonna relax, I'm gonna play some D&D, and I'm all like,
and now you got all
hey.
these questions. We're talking about Icewind Dale. You put me on the spot. This is a fairly live show and everything. Why you gotta be this way?
It's zone of safety, but it will be available soon, and D&D Beyond is the easiest place to get it. So yes, D&D Beyond. Thank you for making all of this possible. Again, Level Up Dice, one of our partners and dice sponsors, purveyors of fine luxury gaming accoutrement. I have my own link there that is bit.ly/LUD B. Dave Walters, but there is no wrong answer as long as you go to Level Up Dice and buy some stuff, because it's all very nice. You get some pinky up chance cubes there. Last but certainly not least, Games for Love is a kindness-oriented 501c3 nonprofit that is aimed at easing the suffering of children. By the time you see this, we will have just done a weekend fundraiser for Games for Love, which I'm sure was amazing. I'm sure we had a grand old time. But yes, even in the midst of the pandemic and some of the other things that are going on in society, please don't forget that there is still ongoing needs out there. And the COVID-19 pandemic has come down especially hard on some of the children that are already ill. I know for the most part, children are fairly resistant to it, but kids that already had compromised immune systems, it's been very difficult. A lot of times they've had to go into very heavy quarantine, and it can be difficult being alone all that time. So we've been raising money for consoles, Switches, so they can play Animal Crossing and just connect with people. But visit gamesforlove.org to find out more. Last but certainly not least, if you follow me on Twitter, you know how I feel about literally everything that is going on in the world right now. So in the interest of simplicity and time, I will simply say Black Lives Matter. And with that, now on with our story. Anything else before we dive back into the glory of Faerun?
Absolutely, there is. You mentioned Level Up Dice is one of our sponsors, and I felt the need to point out the fact that we all got beautiful new dice from Level Up as a celebration of our 2nd season. So I'm almost positive that two best buddies over there may have gotten the same dice, but I'm not positive. It looks like, hey, D'Artagnan, did you and Sam get the same ones?
Depends. Which one did you get, Sam?
I got some raised obsidian, all blacked out dice. It seemed appropriate to a rogue.
That's what I got.
Oh,
That's
it must be
actually their most
because you have a
popular set.
crush on me. Wait, what?
Well, we're also but
I realize I'm always terrible with like using the right flavor text, but I also got a set that's Egyptian marble because, as a gentleman, and I also got these like beautiful like shiny black boys, which is I know a terrible way to describe them, yet it's completely accurate. So yes,
And the official dice of Helene, of which it came with a wonderful little gem, a little crystal that I'm probably going to end up sewing into one of Helene's braids. But got the my nails aren't done, y'all. Don't judge me. But I got the watermelon tourmaline dice.
Oh, nice.
Are just absolutely gorgeous, and I love them.
I got no dice. Just putting me out there. Also, September 15th is Icewind Dale.
September 15th. September 15th. You know, but your statement was accurate. The 15th of sometime is a time.
It is a time.
I got my dice are made out of crystal, and the numbers are on the inside. They're not on the surface. They're etched in the material with a laser.
Cool.
Very hard to read and gorgeous.
That's just like you, Alcuin Gersh.
They're
Very
ephemeral.
hard to read and gorgeous. Yes.
And I got crystal as well. I got their candy glass. So I got this one keys out because of green screen. Yay. But this one's green, this one's red, and the candy glass, yeah, they're beautiful. I like them.
I appreciate the fact that it keyed out like that. Actually, sort of like made it look like a tesseract. Like that's the thing Averin is after. Spoiler alert, Averin, you're here for those dice. Is
a magic item, at least a wondrous item.
But yeah, thank you so much to everyone at Level Up Dice for giving us these beautiful new math rocks to roll for this season. We're excited.
It's true. And also, we spoke in length last season about supporting your local game store. Again, that's still important, especially now, maybe now more than ever. It's a hard time. So if you're going to buy something, try and buy it locally. A lot of shops are reopening now. Some of them are still selling stuff online. Just remember to try and support your friendly local game shop so that we can, all keep doing the thing that we do, because they're pillars of the geek community. Now, with that being said, on with our story. A couple of weeks have passed since the Battle of Skullport, when you all were locked in battle with the truly horrifically evil Elder Brain Encephalithid, and drove it literally off this plane and brought death and ruin to its Mind Flayer forces and scattered its army of brainwashed slaves. Skullport had suffered a heavy toll, and the battle actually poured over onto the streets of Waterdeep, which you all did battle and help liberate. Soon after, the word of what you all had done had spread. So much so that the White Sails actually assigned you to Waterdeep to assist in the reconstruction and restoration process. Seeing you all as local heroes in your gleaming White Sails uniforms, quite frankly, was just good advertising. So you all have sort of had your run of the place for the last few weeks. Nikto is kind of giving you some of the easiest duty rotations. Everywhere you go, people are offering to buy you a pint, regale you with stories, tell you how you'd saved them in the midst of the battle, and the legend of U6 is already starting to spread through the city. Tell me, in this intervening time, what would you all have been up to? How would Karrin and Kerrin have been spending the time in the wake of recent events?
I believe there has been a lot of training with the bucket, making sure that's, I remembered the bucket. Yeah, a lot of training with Rayonde to get some of their reflexes and skills updated. But I think I think more importantly, they've been very, maybe not so subtly, been avoiding Xander and and their angelic friend as well. Like, not on purpose, but maybe not necessarily not on purpose either.
Just oddly keep having to be somewhere else. It's weird. It's weird.
It's fine. Aiden and Xander are fine. It's fine.
Just fine. Just be fine over there. It's fine. Yeah. Also, do not explain the bucket to Averin under no circumstances. Do not tell him. Rayonde.
I've been trying to keep busy, really, keep my mind off of things. There have been some difficult conversations that Helene and I have had, and I think I've come very close to wanting to give up adventuring. But I'll continue to do it as long as my friends are there. So, but yeah, I'm a bit shook by our recent. I mean, let's not forget how many of us died last time out. Not last time, well, the time before last time. But yeah, it's been a sobering experience.
Once and future Sorcerer Supreme, Helene, I will tell you, Helene, you had gotten word that Xander would be coming aboard, and you were very excited, but when you all were reassigned to Waterdeep, that trip got postponed. And although you're sure the Elder Wizard is somewhere in Waterdeep, you have yet to manage to track her down.
Yes, and on top of that, Helene's also been a little bit worried how the last fights have went, so she's learned how to do mage armor. She's been trying to practice making herself just a tiny bit less glass of the glass cannon mechanism there, a little sturdier, getting better at that.
I just imagine Helene like running up to people and like, come on, throw a punch. Come on, do it. Come on, do it. Oh, shield. What? Yeah. And then turn and run away. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Mm-hmm.
Xander. Xander might be having tech issues. I will jump ahead to Aiden here because he seems like he's frantically messing with something. Aiden.
Look, what did you hear from all of these people? None of them are being celebrated and adequately receiving that celebration. The people are looking for heroes, and Aiden's going to give that to them. I've been among the people carousing, telling tales, making connections, and generally just having a great time because life is good. Yeah, it's good. Things are great. They've never been better. We won. We're alive. We're here. So no other worries. No worries.
Yeah. I don't know if there is a form of SMR PTSD. So yeah, no, it's all good. Just it is a net
Why would you
win.
bring that up? We don't need to worry about that. I'm fine.
Xander.
Xander has been getting really drunk for the last few weeks to try to forget some of the things that he did. He feels very responsible for literally killing some of his own team members, so that's a thing. He's also been avoiding Kerrin and Karrin, so I don't think he has realized that they have also been avoiding him. I've also been talking to Rayonde as well about just kind of ending with adventuring in general, just because of the past experience wasn't, like he said, that great. And yeah.
It's one of those they can't fire you if you quit type deals, right? You know, they can't avoid you if you're avoiding them.
Exactly.
While you six are on the outskirts of Waterdeep, again, Nikto is not unsympathetic to what's happened, and she also is quite aware of the fact that you all have sort of been avoiding each other. Has assigned you to a patrol on the outskirts of Waterdeep. Again, the city is literally a fortress. This is nothing except for the odd vagabond or ill-timed grave robber. This is essentially you all are assigned to just take a nice walk one afternoon. But you do find the six of you together in one room, in one place. Well, you're outside, together in one place for the first time since Skullport.
Hey guys.
Hey, how you doing, Red?
Good. As good as I can be. How have you all been?
Never better, right?
About as well as can be expected.
Ooh, wait, I got a trick. And I'll throw up my mage armor and I'll be like, hit me.
Helene, important point of clarification. When you summon your mage armor, you can define what it looks like. It can look like anything. What does Helene's mystical armor look like?
I will ask the writer himself, who created the character, did you have any intention of what her mage armor was supposed to look like? Or do I have full creative license?
I was gonna say, first of all, thank you for your service. But no, in this case, yes, she can define for herself what it looks like.
Oh, it is totally like the like total Valkyrie warrior looking mage armor. It's got the cool little feathers and wings and symbols, but it's got this kind of purple hue to it that looks like some of the other things that Helene has that she wears when she's not in her white sails outfit. So it definitely has this kind of iridescent purpley shimmer to it when it shows up. It offsets her orange hair very nicely.
And you all see your friend is like, hey, take a swing at me. Woof. And this shimmering spectral armor appears around her.
Whoa. Nice moves. You learned that past week?
Yeah, I figured maybe.
Oh, wow, that really does work. Dang.
Maybe we don't hit each other. Just I think we should focus on.
She asked.
We still got to practice though, and you're gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay. And Helene will walk over and give him a hug.
Speaking of the practice, how's the bucket? That's good, huh?
Rayonde is a fair but tough teacher.
I demand excellence. And that's just, and I feel like you're excelling. Your growth has been incredible. I mean, you've been sick many less times, and you've hit the bucket many more times.
Thanks for helping us out with that.
It's not a problem. I strengthening the mind is a great way to bulwark yourself against pain or any of that sort of stuff.
All of you give me perception checks. Have you successfully rolled a disbelieve there, Aiden? I know that face.
A natural disbeliever, one could say. So I'm, of course, focused on something very important that is definitely relevant.
16 for Helene.
16.
It's a 12
24
for me.
for go ahead.
12,
Right.
24. Okay.
12 as well.
12. Rayonde, something's wrong. Can't just, as everybody's sort of talking, you're like, can't put your finger on it. It's just something just feels wrong. And as you sort of kind of home in, the birds aren't singing. No dogs are barking. Again, Waterdeep is a gigantic city. There's ambient noise all the time. It's just everything is eerily, almost deathly still. But your friends don't quite seem to notice.
There's something wrong. Stop talking. Listen. What can you hear?
Nothing.
I don't hear anything.
Okay, yeah, that's the problem.
That is
It's
creepy.
too quiet.
If you've ever been in a tornado, which for the record, I don't recommend, right before the tornado actually appears, there is a moment of just supernatural stillness. It's like somebody hits pause on reality, and then all hell breaks loose. In this case, while you all are looking around, you start to feel a slight tremor in the ground, like rocks gently shuffling. And it begins to like grow more and more and more and more until everything is visibly shaking around you. Trees are shaking. The walls of Waterdeep are groaning under the weight of it. And as you look up in the sky, it turns blood red. And red lightning bolts begin cracking across the sky. None of you have ever seen such a thing.
Come on, we gotta get to cover. What is that? Come on.
Helene, what is this?
I have no idea. And I still have my my mage armor up, right?
Yeah, it
I'm
lasted
gonna
an hour, I think.
I'm gonna run with my arms around everybody and try and get us like around something. Maybe under's not good. Under's not good. Where should we go, guys?
Under's good. Under's good.
Under's good. Okay, and I'll run with my arms around everybody.
All of you give me athletics checks. You all are young and dexterous, but I mean it's starting to get chaotic. The ground itself is starting to almost roll slightly, like waves are going through the very foundation of the earth.
22 for Rayonde.
It's you all keeping your feet.
Just ride the wave.
0.
Yeah, you just go 0.
I rolled a natural 1 and I have a -1 in strength. I rolled a 0.
And
That is-
the mage armor is very new, so Helene got a 7.
It's
I got
a mean.
She's a little hunky.
How much, Xander? Sorry.
I got 26. Can I use some of that to help out Karrin?
It's well. So right now we're at 2 and 2. We'll let Aiden be the tiebreaker.
All right.
18. How do we feel?
It's you know, Aki, I am nothing if not a generous storyteller. You tell me, whose arms do the twins fall into? Because they both promptly get spaghetti-legged and tangled up as everyone rushes to try and help them.
What I'm seeing here is we have 3 successful checks and 3 non-successful checks. So it makes sense to me that, Helene would fall into Rayonde's arms and then Kerrin and Karrin would fall into, funnily enough, not their respected crush. Karrin would end up falling into Aiden and Kerrin would end up falling into Xander. So
It's I will leave it to all of you to see if you even recognize that it is not in fact your crushes.
well, Aiden
It's
will
not
know.
that
Aiden
hard.
knows. Aiden always knows.
I don't know why Xander can't.
Are you okay, Karrin? All right.
Dude, try again. Try again.
Kerrin, are you okay,
I
Kerrin?
have a 50 chance every time.
That's what I meant. You know that.
Yes, I'm fine.
As
Thank
you are stumbling along and the noise is becoming deafening and you're starting to hear trees crack and roots come up out of the ground from the roiling here, you hear and a fireball comes out of the sky and down towards the earth. You think it's maybe 100 yards ahead of you. There is no explosion though. It's
Helene, what are you doing?
No, that wasn't me. I don't think so. Yeah, no, that wasn't me.
Can
Who?
I do a history check or something like that to see if there's anything in
absolutely
our
can.
wealth of knowledge from studying and reading many books?
The fireball is green and red. Mhm.
Gosh darn, these dice are not happy today. It's only a 9.
You're
9.
having trouble seeing past getting misnamed again, Karrin and Kerrin. It's not like you haven't been together for months and months now, actually years by now, and they still get it wrong. Meanwhile, up ahead, Averin, you find yourself laying flat on your back, blinking, as a supernatural vibration begins to rumble through your chest. As you gather your thoughts and look up at the sky, it is bright, flaming red with the earth shaking.
Very strange. I get up from the ground. I'm wearing almost like a black 18th century coat. I have a shaved head and long goatee and pointy ears, and my eyes themselves are actually glowing red like embers. I'm kind of regarding the sky. So I guess it's beginning. Not just here. Strange.
You're not the source of that, are you, friend?
you all actually haven't seen him yet. And can you hear me? I've been told my audio plummeted. I'm going to try something. If it did I come back yet?
Your audio is very, very quiet.
Oh, I know the problem. How about? Oh, I know the problem.
Level Up Dice, purveyors of
How about
fine dice supplies.
There it
Pinkies
is.
up, everybody.
There it is.
Perfect. Got it. Okay. You all have not seen this person yet. You're still about 100 yards away. And as you stand up and you say it's starting even here, Averin, you hear a familiar voice say, where even is here, Averin? Oh, man. And you see Freely stands and gets to his feet next to you. And he's like, hey, wait a second. Like, I feel like my old self. Whoa. Wait, why is everything, Averin, why is everything shaking? Where did you bring us?
No, nothing's shaking, actually. What are you talking about? Everything's fine. You okay? Are you having symptoms? Well, the first symptoms are also bad equilibrium, false color. What does the sky look like? Is it blue?
No, it's red.
Oh,
Wait,
this is very, very bad, Freely. You may be dead in a matter of minutes or rounds. I'm not quite sure what they call it.
If I die, I'm going to haunt you.
Okay, it's very important that you lay down on the ground right now. Butt up. It's very important. Blood will flow to your head. Everything's going to be fine.
Head between your knees. Okay, I remember this back in training.
Yeah.
You all approach. You see a man fitting the description that he just gave you for Averin, and a young-looking halfling. He's tall for a halfling, with bright red hair with shocks of green that sort of go through it, and a clockwork mechanical arm, very much stopping and trying to put his head between his knees, as everything is still shaking and chaotic.
Okay, I know we thought we wanted to know, but maybe we don't want to know.
No, we can just leave. This is
know.
obviously nothing to do with us.
Hey,
But they might need our help.
No, I think they've got it.
Hey, what's
I
going on
really
over
think
there?
they've got it.
They definitely
you.
look like they need help.
with the head up your butt.
Wait, I think they're talking to you, Averin. That's you, man.
No, they're talking to you. So I have some good news and some bad news. Are you ready? Freely, are you ready?
Yeah, lay it on me.
Okay.
And he is very much like kind of put his hands on the ground trying to stabilize. Is everything's
so you're not dying. I'm joking. But it is the apocalypse. So that's bad. So glass half full, right?
Oh,
hi, look,
okay.
people. Hello, people.
Hey, all right, no, you brought us across the plains for the apocalypse. I'm here to save you again. Great. Okay. All right. Cool.
Is this Faerun
Did you just
again?
say apocalypse?
Yeah, did we hear you right?
Averin, you've spent enough time in Waterdeep. That's Waterdeep. You know, you're kind of outside the East Gate, sort of like, you took some, you're that. Okay. All right. That's.
Is the shaking still happening?
It is.
Everyone be calm. Do not worry. Waterdeep has been destroyed maybe like 7 times.
Excuse me?
Wait, what? Are you destroying this?
No. I mean, I don't think so. No, that wouldn't make any sense. I mean, not today. No. Something bad's
Is there
happening.
anything we could do to stop it from being destroyed?
It should pass. I don't think it's going to destroy
It'll pass.
Waterdeep.
The city will be destroyed, and you say that it'll pass.
No, I don't think. I think it's gonna be fine. I think it's just gonna move along for now. Yeah.
All of you give me religion checks. I realize some of you are better at this than others, but the dice are fickle and they fall how they fall.
That was a natural 20.
I appreciate. You know what? You've started drinking with Aiden now because he always seems to know like these stories, and you're like, maybe if I just stick around, you.
You always underestimate me when it comes to knowing things, but I do. I'm smart. I'm smart. I know things with my smarts.
My dice and I need to have a conversation because they tried to pull this on me last season too. At the top of the season, I'm not having it. I just rolled a 2, which makes it a 7. That's no.
You said such nice things about them. Xander and
know.
Rayonde.
I got a 1 minus 1. So 0.
You've also successfully disbelieved. Yep.
I don't know what religion is.
I got a 14.
Xander, you're like, okay, this dude's destroying Waterdeep. Got it, right? Karrin and Kerrin, you're sort of just trying to figure out. You're like, what sign from the gods would this be? Earthquake, red sky? I don't. Rayonde, you can't think of having heard this before. It looks like something divine, but you can't quite put your finger on it. Helene,
It doesn't look draconic in any way.
it does not look draconic. No.
Helene,
Helene,
that's reassuring then.
Helene and Aiden, as he starts talking, you guys have heard stories about some character that fits this description, a guy named Averin, a renowned scoundrel who actually managed to achieve godhood. And I will even say you've heard of Freely, his halfling companion, because the Xanathar put out a significant bounty on his head for having robbed him not too long ago. So the people fitting this description are definitely known to you both.
Hey, are these those guys that?
I mean, maybe. Hang on. Friend, can you just like turn? Just like give us a circle. Oh yeah, no. Look at that. That's him.
It's
That's
a 12. Yeah, it's a 12.
It's you, right, Averin?
Yeah, that's me.
Hey.
Did you identify me by my butt?
You don't know the stories that are being told?
No, that makes sense.
Freely looks at you. He's like, hey, somebody knew you and didn't want to sock you one. All right, that's progress, right?
Yeah,
Right.
not
Kidding?
everyone's
A
as rude
scoundrel
as
who
you.
becomes a god? This is goals.
Averin, again, you know things. I will give you history with advantage to see if these young faces mean anything to you. Because it is your job to know things.
It is. We'll see if it is today, though.
That's true. Sometimes the fates say different, and your mind might be elsewhere.
It's a 10.
I will say you definitely recognize the uniforms of the White Sails Mercenary Company. Again, in this world, people are very rarely clean, and the 6 of them are like crisp and gleaming. They also have officers' markings on them, which they're all very young, so they must be capable. Otherwise, they wouldn't have advanced so quickly. Helene, especially with her bright red hair, has a number of coins and gems and mystical accoutrement literally woven into it. Aiden is an Asimar who has a pale pallor to his skin and deepening circles around his eyes. If you didn't know any better, you'd think maybe he just hasn't slept in a while, but you, of course, do know better. Xander is a young, strapping lad. I believe most of your scars at this point are fairly surface level, Xander. But he looks at you very warily because his one on the history, he thinks this is 100% your fault. Rayonde is a red dragonborn, very stocky and carrying. Does Rayonde have his katana with him?
Always.
And an unusual blade at his hip. And Karrin and Kerrin are 2 elves that are indistinguishable from one another. If somebody told you, would think it's the same person twice, standing side by side, who also successfully rolled to disbelieve. And I would say one of the twins is looking up at the red sky, and the other one very much studying the ground like you're not there at all.
All right. How's everyone doing? Yep, I'm the Averin. God.
Freely's like, yeah, you're an Averin. You're an Averin. I mean, I myself have met like 6 Averins.
Yeah, no, I'm the Averin, though. I'm not like it's complicated. You're not going to understand it right away, freely. So anyways, how's everyone doing? I know it's still shaking. I know it's going to pass. I promise. Xander, good job, by the way, on leaving the gods and everything like that. That was a good plan.
Is this your fault?
No, it's not. This is not me. I've been actually tracking these, kind of like phenomenon and phenomena. I always get that wrong. Anyway, so I've been just traveling around.
You said that this is the apocalypse, though. What do you?
It's not
traveling around.
It's not the apocalypse. I mean, it's just when the sky goes, blood red and there's lightning and the earth shakes. It tends to be very bad for a lot of people, and so I've been trying to find people to assist in stopping it.
So, question then: when all of this starts to happen, are you guys like honing in on that while it's already happening? Or has it ever crossed your mind that maybe jumping between planes might cause that? Or like, do we know like the chicken and the egg thing? Which one's actually coming first? How's that work? How'd you get here?
First off, love the coins. I have one for you if you'd like one. I travel around the multiverse all the time. This is my first time in Faerun, and it's certainly not my first time in this version of Waterdeep. So I'm 1,000% sure I'm not the one who's responsible for this. I've caused a few problems before, maybe a few minor apocalypses, but I know this isn't mine because I would remember, right, Freely? Right? Yep.
Again, that seems strong, but okay. Yeah. I mean, I saw you this time. I didn't see you do anything that would cause apocalypses. Apocalypti. What is the
Apocalypses?
Apocalypses. No, that sounds
like
good.
You. I like
you.
you.
Don't want to apocalypse see any of this.
So
you said you were looking for people to help stop it. That means it can be stopped, right?
Oh yeah. So my tiny friend here, Freely, is actually a hero.
You see, he was very much about to complain about you calling him tiny until you said he was a hero. So he literally like opened his mouth and then like mid-sentence is like.
And I most definitely am not. But I am in the business of finding heroes. People that can assist in stopping terrible things from happening.
So how do we stop this from happening right now?
I don't know. That's something we can do right now.
All of you give me another perception check. Everyone but Averin, give me another perception check.
That was another natural 20.
Hey,
That's two in a row. This is knocking on wood. That's the best luck I've ever had.
But to say you got to save some of them though, because you're gonna need them later.
I think you know more about me than I do.
That's true.
You can't. Helene was clairvoyant until this very moment.
That is true. You're casting summon exposition. Yeah.
It's an 18.
18.
19.
19.
9 for me.
9. Aiden.
19 as well.
19. As he's sort of talking, Helene, you notice actually Averin, is Averin wearing his gauntlets currently or not?
No, he's not.
You see
he does have a mechanical hand still.
It's I mean all the cool kids do, right? Helene, you in particular see, it's like when you see something moving through the water and there's like ripples, like a trail. You see from stretching out from Freely and Averin, there is a trail that leads over towards a nearby hill. It's kind of difficult to see, especially with everything still shaking and everything. But once you sort of like perceive it, it's almost like ripples, like a distortion. And you saw that comet come down from the sky. This is not the direction it flew.
I'm going to point it out to the rest of the group to see if anyone else sees it, and I'm going to follow it. Guys, there's there's something like rippling, like from the direction that they came from. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'm gonna walk along beside it and see where.
I'll go with you. Let's go.
Yeah.
Once it is pointed out to you, Averin, you could not see it before, but once she says it, you're like, I mean, sort of. It's almost like a heat distortion. You know, when the light has to hit it at like just the right angle, you're like,
Is it attached to me?
it leads right up to you.
Oh, I'm just like trying to dust it off. I have like one mechanical red hand and a regular other hand and a dusty black coat. And yeah, I'm trying to get this wave off of me.
When you start dusting yourself, Freely looks at you. He's like, "Oh no, let me get that for you." Boom, and press the digitation. You see right in front of him, like Averin becomes immaculately clean. But these ripples leading off to the hill do not disappear.
Well, that's bad. That might be us. I mean, I don't know. That's probably not us. Freely, what did you do when we got here? What did I tell you? You kept your eyes closed, right? When we came?
But I mean, we did not discuss any of this. You were just like, "Oh, there's an apocalypse. Let's go." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, let's do it." And then now we're here, and I don't know. I'm just tell me who I need to smite. I can't fight an earthquake, Averin.
Well, there's a wave. There's like a heat wave for, I don't know what it is. It's stuff. It's stuff that's happening. We have to do it. And they're heroes, right? You're all heroes? You look like heroes. I mean, look at it. It's either laundry day or you're heroes. So
I wouldn't classify heroes, but I would love to get this solved.
Yeah, you have a bit of a darkness around you, don't you, Xander? Did something bad happen? Did you hurt your friends?
This is really not a good time for therapy.
This is.
Let's go find this thing.
Point. Let's just go.
Helene is.
As you all stare at it, especially as you sort of like start heading that direction, you notice it is like something is condensing on the hilltop. It is almost like, even though the sky is still red, and you notice at no point has it rained. There's thunder, there's lightning and thunder, but there is no wind and there is no rain. But it is like blackness is coalescing like an orb on top of the hill.
What can you tell us about this particular type of apocalypse?
Oh, absolutely nothing.
That's helpful.
But it has been happening on several worlds across the multiverse and the weave and a couple of dimensions and a couple other places I've been hiding out. So yeah, it seems to be a not global event because, you know, it's a multi-universal event happening to everyone.
But exactly like this?
It varies from place to place, but very much like this, yes.
Very curious.
And it happens when you arrive somewhere, or you've...
No. I've been trying to track it. I am not responsible for this. Everyone tries to blame me for everything because they're like, "Oh, he's a trickster god. He's the one who's responsible for everything." So what's going on here? Stop blaming me.
Just a question.
Right.
So besides, like, you know, the earthquake and the sky of flames, is there anything else that we should expect that's been like a pattern with these things? I mean, I don't see any rain, which is good because, like, my hair in the rain is like a real bad situation. But I mean, is there anything else we should expect?
No, not specifically to this particular situation. Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Can I roll insight?
You absolutely can.
You can certainly try.
Aiden, have you seen any monsters or other dangerous magic associated with events like this?
I got another natural 20, and I don't know. Like, I'm gonna go buy a lottery ticket after we're done playing.
It's those weighted dice. What do I need to roll?
Deception, but I mean, you'll need a 20 to top her because, again, that's it. 20 always succeeds. You're welcome to try. I mean, you might get a 20 as well, and then it's going to be what it is. But let's see.
Oh, wait. I'm rolling too many. Okay. There we go.
That's true. That's yes, to save those dice. Protect.
No, it's a total of 22. That's all. Yeah.
Oh.
No, I did it wrong. It's a 30 and it was a natural 20. Holy crap, I'm not kidding. I'm not lying. I'm looking. I'll save it. I'll totally re-roll it.
No.
He's a trickster.
Hey.
All right, I just want to point that out.
No, hey, fate is fate. If that's how it went, that's how it went. You, Averin and Helene, it's like you almost have a moment where like time stops, where you're an open book. In Averin, you're like, but I'm not though. And she's like, but you are though. And you're like, like the way she's looking at you, Averin, like you're usually pretty evasive. You're like, no, look at this, sleight of hand, misdirection. And it's like you were on to the fact that she is on to you. And it kind of sucks, Averin.
I feel that her 20 should supersede mine. Absolutely.
I will tell you this, because again, having a 30 to be all, inscrutable is not insignificant. Helene, I will tell you, this man is used to not just being the smartest man in the room, but the smartest man in all rooms. And he truly doesn't know, and it's truly bothering him.
And he also took a screenshot.
When you look at her and you basically say that you don't know, she just goes, okay. And she keeps walking towards the distortion, and she'll keep looking up at the mountain to see if anything else is going up, happening up on top of there where we saw all that madness going on.
Oh, before everything ends, I have a question about your hair and all the coins in it. What's that about?
Oh, well, there's lots of different reasons. I have a friend of mine who wears a lot of shiny things, and well, I really liked that, so I started doing that, and then it just so happened that when they're tied into the hair, when waves come, I don't lose my coins. And also, if you look, they're from all over the place. So kind of like a little bit of like a traveling collection of souvenirs.
I bet I have one that you don't have. And I hold out a gold coin.
What does that gold coin look like, Averin?
It has a picture of me smiling. And it says on one side, you have worth. And on the other side, it has a picture of me frowning and it says, Averin Trickster God. And the eyes seem to follow you.
I like this guy so much.
It's that's odd how it does that thing.
Yeah, it does that.
I like it.
That's yours. You keep it. If you ever need anything, let me know. All right.
Is there like a catch to it? I don't know. I mean, like, you have to forgive me. We just met. I'm very suspicious. We've been through a lot lately. But like, if I touch it, am I going to burst into flames?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. No, there's no trick to it. Nope.
You see, when you say that, Freely looks at you and his eyes like narrow a lot, and he's like, hey, Averin, that is just one of the not terrible coins, right? They've been very nice to us.
Yeah, no, I didn't give them a bad coin. Yeah, that's a good coin.
Oh, well, he is tricky, but he won't usually lie to your face twice.
So he's lied to us already?
No, I mean, like, he'll like lie, and then you're like, it's not a lie, and then he's like, sometimes he's like, no, that lie isn't a lie, and it's really kind of complicated. I realize, and while he's in the middle of rambling, you all hear a voice from everywhere at once. Averin, finally. So long we've searched for you.
I think someone's calling for you, buddy.
I think at the moment we hear a disembodied voice from all around of it, like Karrin immediately steps like right up next to Xander. Is just like right there.
Yeah, I pull out my greatsword for sure.
You will see Freely doesn't seem to react, but out of his hand, like his mechanical hand, just a glowing blade just pops out. He's just like, shing, and just stands there.
Helene will move back to back with Rayonde.
Oh, no, wait, sorry. And it is a different voice the second time. Things don't need to be hostile. And out of that inky, swirling blackness, you see initially one person emerges. She looks like she's made literally out of star stuff. And behind her as she walks, it's almost like reality sort of blurs and is distorted as she steps through. And I say her in the loosest sense, but it is almost like the substance of this space and the planes itself made manifest appears. And through the wonder of modern technology, I can send you all a picture of what she looks like that I have dropped into our group chat. And she walks out and she looks around. It is difficult to see exactly where she's looking. Also, I've sent it to you directly as well, Todd, so you can see. All of you give me perception checks.
I didn't get a message.
Twitter DM, sir?
Oh, that, yes.
Yep.
The miracles of Twitter.
It's true. It's that's the problem. I do have you in like 4 places, so that was on me for not clarifying.
Oh, okay. Well, creepy.
My
25.
That was a 3.
What are we
Let's see.
rolling?
Perception. Yeah, you're still looking at Averin trying to figure out what he's not saying, Helene. You're like,
I got
17?
11.
Even though Aiden and
28.
28, okay.
Also a 17.
Also a 17. All right. Aiden, you immediately clock that there's another one. It hasn't come out, but it's still in this swirling mass. There's something else inside of that swirling mass. And though any of you that got over 15 realize that even though it seems like she's got this warm smile on her face, in the middle of her torso, where there should be a stomach, is a gigantic mouth. It is currently closed, so much so when you just look at it, you're like, is she wearing a belt made out of teeth? But you're like, Aiden's like, no, it's like quivering a little bit. Like when she talks, it's like, yeah.
Wait. There's more. Wait, there's more.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I have to say this. Faerun is closed. No more visitors. Thank you.
Oh, Averin, you can't mean that. You're here and you don't belong. You're not. I can prove that you are not this Averin. Would you like to know how I know?
No, I guess not. No.
I would.
Oh, fine. Everyone has an opinion now.
When you say that, she looks at you and smiles, Xander, and she's like, I'm glad you asked. I'd have done it anyway, but it's far more theatrical this way. And out of the inky blackness, something comes flying out, like somebody just threw out garbage, and a dead body hits the ground, and it's Averin. His mouth is open and his eyes are shocked, like he died in abject terror. And black webs are across his face, like he just died a horrible death. Like,
You don't have an identical brother who really made some bad life choices, do you?
No, I mean, I do make a lot of clones, so I mean, this could be one of them, or maybe I'm a clone right now and I don't even know it. That would be the most tricksy thing of everything.
I believe he is the brother that makes the bad choices. when you say I'm going to pass on the coin, Freely has not taken his eyes off this woman, but he's like, no, hold it. You might have to call for help someday. But he's very much staring at her.
there anything I can get from, like, the twins are studying this woman pretty intently. Like, do they know anything about who she is or where she comes from?
You can give me an Arcana check now that you all have kind of had a second to look at her. You can as well, Averin, if you like. Anyone with Arcana, well, I mean, really anyone. Again, as we've determined many times, you never know what you might have heard
Oh,
sitting around drinking.
Hey,
I'm
stop
invoking-
implying that I don't know things.
Hey, the dice have said otherwise. Yes, Averin, sorry.
I'm casting Mirror Image, and then I'm invoking Duplicity. So there are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Averins.
So he sees a dead Averin, and he's like, cool. Blah.
I can make a lot more. So, you know.
That was an 18.
18. She looks at you and she smiles. And when she smiles, her teeth are like stars, sparkly in her mouth. She's like, oh, good. I never tire of hunting and killing Averins. Did anybody else beat an 18 on Arcana?
No.
What did you get, Aiden?
I got that dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
I know things. Thank you, die.
You do, especially between your perception and your high perception check earlier. This is some sort of outsider, some sort of aberration, Aiden. This is not just something that is not from the area. That's not from this plane of existence. Like, it's the warp distortion you see around it is reality is fighting the presence of this thing, like a white blood cell trying to eliminate an infection from the body. It's
A
like
metaphor that Aiden completely knows and follows. Yes.
Exactly. You think their presence here may or may not be what's causing this environmental distortion. Is it what brought Averin here and they came for Averin? Is them being here doing it? It's tough. It is literally the chicken or the egg now. But one way or another, they are not welcome on the prime material plane. But
How much
she does not particularly seem disturbed by it.
How much of that do Kerrin and Karrin get with the 18?
With the 18, I will give you a different check to go along with this. You can give me religion as well. And we'll see how that is filtered through for you.
Same thing, 18.
The number one thing that you get is this thing is intensely alien and intensely evil. She's beautiful and she seems very nice, but she is, well, I mean, again, besides, I don't know if you noticed the mouth, but all of her mannerisms, like she's being very pleasant with you, but she's personified evil in a way that even you haven't encountered, and you've been to some very dark places.
I keep my bunk neat, you hush, B-Dave. I don't need this from you.
Hashtag not all ASMR.
You're not from around here, are you, lady?
No, but I was thinking about perhaps expanding. The plains are beautiful this time of year, are they not? And she motions up at the red sky.
It's unusual weather for the season, anomalous blood red storm.
Enough talk. And out of the distortion, a second person appears that I also, through the wonder of technology, will send you a picture of. This person is wearing an elaborate robe with a white, what looks like porcelain mask and a red hood. They've got at their hip a bundle of what looks like scrolls and pouches. They look like they would be some sort of explorer of some sort, except you notice as they walk, they more glide, and they're leaving a trail of wriggling worms of some sort.
I do feel like you're burying the lead based on what you're showing us. This person is made out of worms.
Yeah, it's the first thing I noticed.
I'm building up to that. If I'm just like a worm person shows up, like you're not listening to the rest of it, you know. It looks out and it just says, "Give us Averin, and we will spare your lives."
Well, this seems pretty easy. Averin?
Xander.
Yes.
You said you would, stop the apocalypse. It seems, walk with them, and then we're fine.
Oh, and you said you were a hero.
You said that. I never said that.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry about killing your other friend. By the way, that was no, I'm not at all. That was pretty easy. Everyone killed, and I didn't kill them. Like all my friend, Freely's friends killed your friend. Which one?
You notice Freely has not taken his eyes off of them. Before now, he's been kind of jovial and pleasant, but his face is just stone. And he's like, "Averin, do you know these people?"
Yeah. I mean, not directly. I mean, Penelope and all of them killed one of them recently. Kind of squished him.
Yeah. Averin, you can give me Arcana with advantage.
Oh man, there's repercussions for things now.
It's weird. It's weird. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought?
Actions having consequences. We know nothing about that, right, crew?
What's the point of being like God if you have to deal with consequences, though? It seems like
really paying for that 20. 12. Really paying for it.
As you're looking, you're like, no, I know exactly what this is. There's something different about this, though, Averin. You can't quite put your finger on it, but there's something different here.
I don't want to put my finger on it. No, thank you.
They start slowly descending the hill, and the female presenting one just says, now, there doesn't need to be any more chaos or confusion. And she stops for a second and she looks around and she's like, "Oh, we're then. Terrible business in Skullport. But I assure you, within a few weeks' time, it will be the furthest thing from any of your minds. I see a trip home in your future. I would not wish to interfere in any way. I would just like to suggest that perhaps this Averin is an interdimensional scoundrel, and his removal would be better for everyone."
I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I like everything that's going on with that, but if I myself am ever going to learn to be an interdimensional scoundrel, I'm gonna need this guy to model off of. So like I do kind of, I think we need to keep him around.
Aiden, we just met him, and apparently the apocalypse is happening because of him. The best solution is for us to get rid of him. And
Xander, that's an aberration of some real evil. I know we thought we knew evil. More, and even more, and more plus worms. Look, worms.
Can confirm. Super evil lady.
Yes, and to get rid of the super evil lady, we need to get rid of the man thing that we don't know.
Look, this is bullying, and that's not how bullies work.
Exactly. I'm with Aiden on this. I think this guy is not very nice, but I think we have to protect him.
Freely
himself.
just speaks up and he's like, "Believe me, Averin's time's gonna come, and when it does, he's probably going to deserve it. But whatever his miscalculations, he has helped a lot of people, and he does not deserve whatever that is."
And he's trying to stop this apocalypse. So, like, I don't know, maybe.
Have you ever considered about being a warlock?
Hang on a second. Helene, you are muted. I see you talking, but we're not hearing you.
Helene will go, well, that's enough reason for me. And she's going to cast a fireball at the worm one.
I was about to say, I thought very much that you were going to be like, hang on a second, let me ask you one question. Boom. Helene, you're like, cool. The fireball arcs, the small pebble flies towards them like it is expanding, and it just hits them and dissipates like nothing happened. And she just says, oh dear, we're doing it the hard way. Well, I would just like to tell you one more thing. You all's adventure with Encephalithid did not go unnoticed. Unfortunately, without the Elithids, some of the things they were keeping in check got out of check. And everyone roll initiative. If you would, put it in our chat here. Here inside of this chat. Not that chat. I'm hearing Facebook pinging. 16 for Xander.
Oh, wait, no. What?
You got it?
I got a weird thing. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, no, put it in this in our streaming chat, you will.
Apologize, as I have multiple versions of dice.
No problem.
Some of them are test and secret things.
I understand. Roll the loaded ones.
Yeah. Well, apparently I am.
How do you think that 30 happened? Trickster
True.
God over here.
That is true. Mm-hmm. We have lost a wild Aki. Hopefully they will be back momentarily. 19. Oh, okay, perfect. And I believe, hold on a second here. And what was that for Helene?
17.
17 for Helene. Perfect. All right. They are standing there looking very smugly. So, Rayonde, again, basically, the moment you see the fireball leave out of Helene's fingers, you are already springing into action. And when she says to you, there's some things that were left unattended, you all see out of the ground something horrific erupts. It is a long, wriggling purple worm that opens up its face, and it is almost shaped like a starfish with long, writhing tentacles that come out of its face. It is gargantuan and awful. And the two of them just sort of like look, well, one of them is wearing a mask and has no face to smile. The other one continues with the same sort of like Mona Lisa face that she's had this entire time, completely unfazed by the fact that she was just hit by a fireball. But Rayonde, it is your turn.
How far away is the closest one from me?
I said they were heading your direction, so they're within 120 feet by now, because they were sort of like moseying down from the hilltop while they were having this casual chat with you all.
I'm going to whip my bow out and take a couple of shots.
All right.
Let's see. All right. So I got a 15 and a 25.
All right.
Two longbow shots.
That is one hit. The 15 is not enough.
All right. That's 10 points of damage then.
All right. Hang on a second here. And after that, it is now I have too many tabs open. It would be Averin.
Mm-hmm. I am going to cast banishment.
Which target are you of the three? Are you banishing, or are you going to use a higher spell slot and banish all three?
I am going to use a 6th level spell slot.
Okay. Will that allow you 3 targets?
It'll allow me +2, so 3.
All right. What?
Charisma saving throw 16.
All right. Hold on a second here.
Be gone. Bye. See you in a few.
All right.
You what?
Let me just check this real quick.
I've never got to do this to another DM before.
No, it bees like that sometimes. Okay. Let me just check one other thing. Let me just make sure I'm not. That's wrong. Okay. Averin, you were just like, be gone, and everything sort of starts to ripple around it. And you see this horrific worm monster disappears. And the two of them stop and sort of like look at each other for a moment. And they're like, this won't stop us, Averin. You'll see. We will. And they both disappear.
Sorry, what was that? I didn't catch the rest of it. I will what? Hello? Anyone?
Are they gone for good? Is that it?
No, they'll be back in a few minutes. A few seconds. I'm not quite sure.
What does that help? They're just gone for a few seconds.
I think
It's
if
enough
they're
in
not,
position.
Yeah.
if I may, Aaron, I think if they're not of this plane, they'll stay gone.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's how that works. I'm not even from this plane, so I am originally, just from this place. So that's a good point. Yeah, they should be gone.
That being said, we are still probably like rather close to the area that you guys kind of like popped into this world dimension thing in, so maybe we should kind of move away from this spot in case anything else is following you too. Maybe go find somewhere else to kind of hang out and talk about things.
Not to be egotistical, but can we all just acknowledge that was amazing that worked? I didn't think that was going to work at all. Did you?
Yeah, you solved the problem that you
was
created.
wonderful.
I didn't create the problem. Woo, you are just a negative person.
We've done it before.
Is there still like a weird warped wriggling?
It is. Also, I really did roll horrifically. I really did that by the book, and I rolled like a 2. I rolled a 2, a 5, and a 7. So it was like, oh well, okay. And also rolled a counter spell, rolled an 8. So they, the fate said that they were banished.
We usually
you
all
say
roll
they
And
like
let's go
said it,
cast
but I
guiding
think
bolts.
Abram said it.
Yeah. It's having played with Todd for a while now, the voice of fate often sounds like him, even in my head. I will say this: all of you make either nature or arcana checks, whichever is higher.
Come on, baby. Come on. Let's do the weird thing again.
Mm-hmm.
We do not do the weird thing again.
I can't believe it.
That's a big 3 from me.
Again,
work.
fate said that it works.
I
Avery.
either know things perfectly or
Mm-hmm.
That's a 15 for the twins.
Yeah,
15. 16. What was that you said, Rayonde? 3. Helene.
Pretty close.
It's 16 for Helene.
16. And Averin, what did you get there?
Oh no. 14.
What was that? Xander?
16.
When you were in the custody of the Illithids in the Underdark, especially when you were under their thrall and could hear them thinking, you became aware of the fact that there are these pools where the young are raised and harvested. And if unattended, they turn cannibalistic, feeding on each other. And the thing that is left is a horrific monster. that was that thing.
Wait, so like, would I assume that this is our fault? That changed my whole.
Clearly, it's not unrelated.
All right.
Not us.
I'm standing to my guns. I think it's Avery's fault.
You have sword. You don't have to. I mean, actually, I rescind that comment.
You're like, lay poker face. Yes.
I realize I made a mistake.
So if we're moving, should we move dead you?
Yeah, there's very much a dead Averin laying on the ground.
I get out bag of holding. No, I do this all the time. And I just start freely put it back into it. We got another one.
Free's like, oh no, man, the last time this happened, it was all half mind flayer. It was terrible. I couldn't get the smell of your blood off of me for a week.
How many times has this happened?
Too many.
I don't know. This might be
You're really weird.
273. I can't remember. It's been a lot. There's been a lot of death. Yep, just lift with the legs freely. That's the last part for you. Yep, I know.
I got that. I got this.
Oh, thank you so much. What?
Oh, you're gonna rob the dead Averin? Give me a sleight of hand.
He's
there,
not using it.
Averin or Aiden,
22.
give me a sleight of hand.
This is the best thing that's ever happened.
One of those coins that he gave Helene is in his pocket.
Not anymore. It's not.
Is there anything else? Is there anything else that a younger you, Averin, a middle-aged Averin would have probably had on his person on any given day?
So many knives. Maybe even a magical knife in particular, though he likes to make his own now. So that's up to you, DM. But yeah.
Again, we'll let fate decide. Hang on.
The olden days, he was a notable assassin.
I legit said there was a 30% chance, and I rolled a 31. So you find an empty holster. However, I will say the game recognized game, Aiden. In the process of fleecing this guy as quickly as possible, you know the tools of the trade, though.
I know where there was once a knife. I know this kind of thing. See, it's just making me like him more.
Oh yeah, there's probably like just a hint of the smell of poison in that sheath as well.
It's coming from inside the house. Run, Todd.
Sophia's made a brief appearance.
I lift, and it's just a little bit of.
Do I sense that she's suddenly proud? Do I get like a vibe of what she just did?
You can see. Well, the Aiden is a he. Give me a. Perception.
Sorry.
Well, give me perception.
I am
because a lot's happening right now, Averin, and you're dumping a U into like a garbage bag. Yeah,
it's a regular day. Yeah, if I ever get you or your character's genders wrong, I grossly apologize. I was a 26 total.
Oh, you super know the fact that he just robbed you.
Okay.
He robbed dead you. I'll even say with a 26, you realize he got one of the coins.
Oh,
but you also recognize he was good at it. Like, I mean, you clocked it because it's your job to clock things, but it was very much like, oh, let me help you. Whoop. Type.
Aiden.
Averin.
Did you do something?
Yes, a lot of things.
Very good. I cast Channel Divinity, and I give her advantage. I give Aiden advantage on all stealth checks for the next hour.
Oh, I knew I liked you.
Aiden,
bless Aiden.
While you're doing this, you do realize, despite the fact that those two have been dispersed, that black distortion is still sitting there, and the sky is still red, and the earth is still shaking. As you all sort of like bag of holding over the head, full weekend at Bernie's on this like court.
I'd really
Yeah.
like to do some kind of an Arcana check or something on that black distortion. Like,
I would say you can roll.
Karrin and Kerrin are like studying that and trying to
you
figure out
can-
what's going on.
You can all roll with advantage here. I'll say you took 10. So don't roll with advantage, but you can add 10 to the roll because you're kind of like, well, this is weird. Like, what even is the, you know? You notice Freely walks right up to it and just puts his mechanical hand in it, and then like pulls it back slightly, and you notice it is very faintly covered with frost. Like it's basically from a place that is cold right now, not necessarily like frozen solid or like ice or anything, but it's like it like cold
Like Minnesota.
condensation on a window. Yeah. But Minnesota in like September.
Is that plus 10 in addition to our actual to our modifier, or just plus?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you roll what you roll and then add 10 to that.
Cool. I got a 19.
Wow.
Question.
Yes.
Were we able to fit the body completely into the bag of holding?
Oh yes.
Okay.
It was like a really tight fit though. Like the entrance to the bag of holding is not. Yeah.
If I had a copper.
If Averin has enough body fat, there was a little muffin top action happening as we are shoving the body through the bag of holding.
Why won't his butt fit through? Butt is too
Actually,
shapely.
give me an insight check, Averin.
Oh, this is never good. It's not like inside,
I don't know what
like
you're talking about.
internal looking within myself because I've never been good at that. 13, and that was with a +8.
As you're sort of roughly disposing of this one, you know which Averin this is.
Uh-oh.
Which means, you know, if they got him, could mean trouble for his realm.
Right. When you say my realm, what are we calling my realm?
Well, it's where his realm, where this Averin was from. You know exactly where it is.
Okay. We'll talk about that later.
Hashtag foreshadowing.
You're looking a little green around the gills. Are you okay?
I'm fine. Just, you know, I'm disposable. So I'm not. So giant, creepy. Freely, get your hand out of that. How many times have I told you?
I mean, come on. What am I gonna do? If I lose another one? If I do, I'll just rebuild it. It's fine. It's fine.
You'll rebuild it. You'll be the one who rebuilds it.
You don't get credit for giving me an artificial hand when you're the reason why I lost my hand, Averin.
I think technically, still, yes, I do get to get credit for that. So,
I will say is now that you guys kind of have a second to look at them, both Averin and Freely's clockwork digits are incredible. You've never quite seen anything like it. Like I mean, it is clearly artificial, but the movement is completely seamless. It's like you've never seen craftsmanship like this.
I get a little too close inspecting Averin's clockwork hand.
First off, boundaries, and it is a very ornate. The metal itself is red. It's almost like blood red mechanical hand, and it appears to be fused right to the bone.
You made that?
Sort of.
It's interesting. I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, you're not going to see one again.
Wow.
Yes.
I know. I mean, that sounds weirder than you can see one right now. I've got one. You know, I got mine in Wildmount though. I don't know how.
Yours
Like,
not as cool. Yours is not as cool as mine, really.
If I might, I might be able to improve on that just a little bit if you let me do something real quick.
well, yeah, okay. And like he very much just like holds out his like frosty hand out to you like it's nothing.
Frosty the
Helene,
Snow Hand, what?
Thank you all for tuning in. That's apparently the end of the episode, the end of the season. Where there's no more Dungeons and Dragons: The Darkened Wish. Aiden, in the form of Sam DeLeve, has killed it. assassin strike. Yes, sorry, Helene. Yes, what are you? Yes,
Assassin's
Helene
leave.
casts gaseous form on him and pats him on the back and says, "Look, you're one of the team now," and just moves on.
Oh, you cast gaseous form on Freely.
Yeah, that was my joke.
He when you do you turn him into a methane cloud like you did before?
You make him a fart.
He literally looks down at himself for a second and immediately looks at you, Averin, and proceeds to tackle you as essentially a halfling-sized fart cloud. Oh, you're muted.
Oh, excuse me. Who's the knight of stink and stench right now? Oh, it appears to be you,
he's
Freely.
like, shh, no, just let it happen, Averin. Just let it happen. Yeah. Oh,
Just let it happen. Yeah, like a fart in a wagon. Yeah, just...
Karrin and Kerrin, even you said you still ultimately had a 19, right? While you all are having this exchange, you see like Karrin and Kerrin like walking around looking. You all speak Sylvan, right? They're kind of like mumbling to each other in a language. If any of you speak Sylvan, you understand. Otherwise, you can't quite place. Like they very much are like, and like pick up a rock and kind of throw it and listen, and then you think this is
no? Can you?
You think this is a portal of some sort. It is a gateway. It is a gateway that is still open.
So, does anyone know how to close this?
I think Helene might be right. We probably should get away from this area. Whatever came through before might come through again.
Is there any way to shut it?
Averin?
You're muted, yeah.
No, sometimes I just move my lips. Nothing comes out.
Oh, nothing worth hearing, but I'm used to that.
You're a fart. Everyone's going to find out about this, and I just take like a mental image.
He's like, oh, I'm gonna tell him. No, this is incredible. No, Helene, thank you so much for this. Like, this is life altering.
Oh, that's a word for it. I don't actually. Well, can I roll an Arcana check?
You absolutely can.
Yeah, I'm at depth. Also, like when Aiden comes back, not everything it's kind of like making a copy of a copy. Not everything gets downloaded.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not consistent. It's a little Doctor Who-y.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But he's always a jerk.
That wibbly wobbly miss.
I find him delightful personally, and I'm a great judge of character. Okay, I couldn't repeat that one.
Oh, Aiden and Averin are going to be very good friends. 8. That's the kind of god rolls that you get when you're a god.
All of this is like beneath you. Yeah. What's Helene doing during this?
What is knowledge?
You are muted. I cannot hear you, madam.
I actually got disconnected for a second there after I cast that, so I missed what Freely did after that. So the last 5 minutes, you can assume that I have no idea what happened, so I don't know what Helene's doing at the moment.
He is incredibly happy and proceeded to tackle Averin and make sure that he got a big old nose full of methane. And while this was happening, the twins realized that this is a portal that is still open.
So how do we close it?
That seems to be the question of the hour. But if we can't close it, then maybe we should take your advice and get out of here.
Maybe we can find someone who can. There are a lot of people in
Helene is going to run right through it.
You're like,
this is what happened
when she runs right through it. After that, you see Freely's like, all right, yeah, woof, and he's through the portal also.
I'm going to run through as well.
What?
Nobody remember. It was.
Well, the choice has been made. We're going now. This is not our first time at the animal.
You would think after all that we've been through, you would know. You don't just run through portals.
How am I the brain cell here? I don't get it.
I mean, we talked to her about it, but she does it anyway. So
impulsive. Kerrin and Karrin.
If you would like to join us, Averin, we are proceeding to make terrible decisions with horrific consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And I put out my arm.
I put my arm around Aiden's,
Mhm.
and I slump, and I like dust myself off. Okay, but it feels excessive.
We don't do it any other way.
And we walk arm in arm through the portal
On the other side,
with the other three of me. By the way,
that you're bringing the whole squad.
Yeah, the whole Averin squad.
When you all come through again, Helene, you come through first. Immediately afterwards, happily, very stinky, gaseous, freely, comes through. It's cold. It is not unbearably so, but very uncomfortable. Like you kind of wish you had a heavy coat, especially because you've spent plenty of time out on the sea. When you get up north near Neverwinter at the wrong time of year, that's sort of like into your bones cold. And when you all emerge there, all of you give me perception checks. Let's see what you see.
19.
19.
Ooh.
21.
21. What was that for Averin?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Wisdom is my strength, sort of.
27.
Incorrect. Wisdom is their strength. And Helene? You're double muted. You're hardware and software muted, Helene. Yes, 18, and yes, Xander?
I had an 8.
And again, you're still just like, why are we walking through portals? Like, what even, like, sorry, I'm just whatever it is, I'm gonna kill it. I'm just going to kill it as you walk through. I know the twins at the most at 29, a dirty 20 for 27, dirty 20 for Averin. It was 21 for Rayonde. All of you see an intensely alien landscape. The sky is not identical to the red storm out there, but it's honestly, it looks a lot like the color of the sky that is behind both Aiden and the twins here. But it is almost like an intensely fiery dusk. But you can't quite spot the sun to know where it's coming from. It is cold. It is roughly springtime in Waterdeep. This is a very chilly fall, especially if you were like a northern elevation. And there is sheets of what is almost not quite freezing rain, but the origin of the frost that was all over Freely's hand is sort of coming down on all of you. The landscape stretches on for miles, and off in the distance you can see a large city of some sort. Karrin and Kerrin, you all realize something strangely familiar about this place, and it takes a second to kick in for you. You also understand it, Rayonde, especially being a cartographer. This is the exact opposite of the topography of the area around Waterdeep. It's the city on the hill. This city is almost kind of in a depression, like where you like, oh, there should be a mountain range. There's a valley over there. There should be that should be the ocean, but it's kind of a desert. It's subtle. It's not like Bizarro, Sword Coast, but you're like, yeah,
things are mirrored here.
That's what I thought too. Doesn't that seem strange to you?
Yeah, it does.
That seems very strange, as all 5 of me say it.
Have you been to this plane of existence before, Averin?
I've been so many places. It all kinds of leads together. There's so much travel, and every place starts looking the same. Every inn. So I don't think so.
I will give you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's like you should start buying brochures.
I will give you Arcana with advantage there, Averin. We have a wild kitab here and back there. But I'll give you Arcana with advantage. Again, you've been a lot of places, and there's a lot of yous.
Well, the first one was a 19, and the second one was 10. So I got 19.
You remember, Averin.
I've been drunk here before, haven't I?
You have not been here.
Okay.
In this iteration, roughly how old is Averin?
Oh, so old. Like an epoch. This is for first edition through 5th edition Averin. So yeah, this is the back to the this is the end.
Is it fair to say he lived through the spell plague?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he lived through the spell plague.
One of the things that helped set the spell plague in motion, you might recall, was the sundering. There was another planet, Ibir, that was Toral's twin, and the two of them were connected. That connection was severed, which had significant detrimental impact on Toral. But again, this was centuries ago. It is far enough back that the well-read among you might have read about it, but it is almost like mythological, or at least the accounts are, vague. Averin, it absolutely happened, but as far as you knew, Toral had shifted off of the prime material, or not Toral, sorry, Abir had shifted off the prime material plane to parts unknown.
So I just turned to everyone with like really quick, and like my coat kind of does a flourish. This is a beer. Torel, whatever you're calling it right now, used to have, say, a brother or a sister planet, and we're there right now. And they were severed from each other during I don't know if you kids know history really well. There was this spell plague thing, and lots of people died, and it's a whole deal. And we're here now. This place shouldn't actually exist, so we thought it was lost, and it's not.
I got a 19 on a history check for the spell plague.
Yes, I would also say, again, just to clarify, because I know we're throwing around a lot of terminology here. You all are in Faerun. Where normally you're in Faerun. Faerun is a continent on the planet of Toral. Faerun is in area. Most of the Forgotten Realms is in Faerun. The planet is Toral. This is the twin to that planet of Toral. I will say, you also know that this would be in the continent of Sheer, Averin, which is Shyr, by the way, Sheer. I might be mispronouncing that, but that's what it is now because I said it on the internet. Which, relative to Abir, is the dark duplicate of Faerun.
This is Sheer. Used to hang out here all the time. I mean, not really, but yeah.
So Helene, have you seen what you wanted to see?
Helene?
I don't know what to do.
Let's go. Let's go.
Hang on. Sorry, hang on. She was double muted. I see your software muted now. I saw your mouth moving, but we could not hear you, ma'am.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there anybody that seems to be around, or is it just like nothing? There's like no other life there except for like us at this point?
Where you all are standing, the portal that was inky black and gross on the other side is green and vibrant and wonderful on this side. What you know also, Karrin and Kerrin, is...
Were
sorry,
there
go
other
ahead.
people around, though?
No.
Okay. We don't see any other signs of that. Okay.
This is just up on a hilltop. If you had to wager a guess, the portal's here because of its proximity to Waterdeep on the other side.
I mean, if there's no one here, then I guess it's because it's close to Waterdeep. If you guys want to go back through, that's fine with me. But it's odd that it looks worse on that side. Then
Wait,
you
why
know,
is being near Waterdeep mean no one's here?
I don't think those two have caused it. I mean, I think it's here because it's close to. I don't know. It's just all very confusing. But there's no one here that we can ask questions to, so it might be a bit of a waste of time.
Vidave, you're going to give Kerrin and Karrin a little bit extra?
Yes. The spell plague was a calamitous time in all of the realms. It was during the spell plague that the Sundering happened in Neverwinter. You all spent a lot of time in Neverwinter and saw the destruction that was there. That was all a part of the spell plague. This in particular, when the planets of Abir and Toril were separated, was in a process known as the Second Sundering. They already were in the process of coming apart when the god Ao was attempting to separate the two of them, and the spell plague basically dramatically sped that process up. So while magic was going wonky and everything was terrible, the planets were basically ripped away. However, Abir, the planet, is not just the shadow of Toril as such, but it basically is filled with races that you might actually recognize back on your home planes. There's dragons, dragonborn, dwarves, Genasi, halflings, even humans that live here. But they usually tend to be very different than the kind that you would know. And more than anything, this planet, the whole plane, was once ruled by... Actually, 19, you don't know who this planet was once ruled by.
All right. Kerrin and Karrin relay that information to the rest of the group.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't remember who. I feel like we read it somewhere, but the memory escapes us.
Is the connection between this world and ours the reason why there's like an apocalyptic event happening? Or I don't really understand what the Aiden, you seem well versed on this.
Do I?
I mean, more than us.
That's nice of you to say.
I'm just curious if you know what we could do to maybe sever the connection. Maybe that's what's causing this. I've never dealt with this before, so.
Dispel the portal, maybe, or destroy everything that you see. I'm not quite sure. Usually there's find a giant magical item. Yeah. There's always something. There's always a thing. There's always a thing.
Do you have a more powerful ally that you often seek for help?
Never.
Huh.
When you say that, Freely is just like, you know what? He's telling the truth. And you notice that even in his gaseous form, like crystals are forming in the gas. Then he's sort of like looking down at it. Yeah.
First off, power is relative. And if you're wondering if I'm looking for someone more powerful to help with something like that, like this particular situation, you are those who are more powerful. Not me.
You just banished. I apologize, Karrin.
No, you go, Xander.
I'm very confused at how all this correlates with us being more powerful. You just banished beings that seemed to be much more powerful than us. So, and you're a god, what I'm understanding. So.
But he's a foolish god, because yes, he did temporarily eject us from your plane. He also did the tremendous service of bringing you all here to ours. And the two of them appear standing about 50 feet away from you.
Hey, I'll have you know, he did not do that. We made our own dumb decision to come here. Thank you very much.
I am casting Death Ward on you. If I have time during all this, I'm casting Death Ward
Helene walks up and goes, "It was my decision," and she walks up and casts lightning bolt on the one that's made of worms one more time.
Yep, casting Death Ward on her too. Death Ward. Desperately trying to do it.
Karrin is just going to lean over to Xander. If we can get them all back through the portal, I can dispel the magic.
Okay. Then let's focus on that.
Your lightning bolt hits it, boom, blows a big chunk out of the middle of it, like all the worms, like, and it just stumbles backwards, and it looks down for a moment, and just looks back up at you again with this like gaping hole in its chest, and it's like, a wizard of action. I like that. I will make a deal with you, wizard, since apparently you seem to be the more action-oriented member of your little group.
I cast Cloud Kill on it while it's talking.
It's funny that it tries to counterspell and does not roll high enough. It holds it and the cloud appears over the two of them. And when you do this, Freely looks at you and he goes, "Oh, wait, could you turn me into poison next time? That'd be so useful."
Look at that, Freely. It's a fart cloud that's useful.
Yes, Helene.
I turn back to the group and go, "I don't know about you guys, but I'm not listening to any more creepy things with tentacles talk to us and try and get in our heads anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and assume this is a shoot first, ask questions later kind of deal."
I agree.
If we all get through the portal, I can dispel the magic.
When they say that, yep, what do you all do?
I mean, that sounds like the better option. Unless Freely's and Avron's 1 through 5 want to stay here and fix this. But I mean, how are we supposed to be more powerful, and why are we even here?
Listen to voice of reason. Get in a fight I shouldn't get in. This is really, so where's the initiative button?
While you all are talking, you see the portal starts moving away from you. Like the ground between you and it are extending. Like if you don't start moving, it will pull away from you.
Avron, can we use some of your use to distract this right here so we can maybe make a bolt for it? I'll take your silence as acceptance.
Doesn't really work that way. Hey, look at me! Look, I'm the one you hate. Look at me! Woo! A guiding bolt.
While Avron does the guiding bolt, you see Freely just says, "Hey, I'll hold him. You guys go." And the cloud flies in the direction of the two of them.
Guys, let's maybe.
It's the portal is like it, but as you notice, it is not that the portal's moving. Reality is warping. It's like somebody has grabbed reality and is pulling it. And it's just
Avron, your companion was a noble fart, but we must use his sacrifice and go.
I want that on Freely's tombstone.
I know. Yeah, noted. What was? Oh yeah, his name is Freely. That's right. Okay, Freely. I'll spell that right this time.
You're a terrible person.
I'm not a terrible person. He's been dead all the time. Don't tell him though. Shh. I have to erase his mind every time.
Oh, you're just sick.
So reality is warping. Are you guys running or fighting?
I'm covering the retreat. Same range.
I'm doing the same. I'm trying to okay, I'm going to cast Disguise Self and look like them. I'm going to, so there's going to be a bunch of Avrons. I'm going to send my my Invoke Duplicity Avron at it, trying to distract it. And I'm casting spells out of it. So I'm casting, which I'm allowed to do, I'm casting Guiding Bolt through this Invoke Duplicity version of Avron.
All right.
I'm disguising myself to also look like, sorry that I don't know everyone's names, Aiden. Why Aiden's running as well.
All right. Okay.
Good choice.
So, the duplicate Avrons are fighting. Aiden is running. Real Aiden is running. What is Xander doing?
I was covering the rear with Aiden while we're all running back.
Helene. Is Helene running or is Helene still pew-pewing?
A little bit of both. She'd like to pew some haste onto as many people as she can.
I would say you could get haste on, I believe, 3 targets with your spell slots, I think. Either way, it's 6 seconds apart. You would be able to haste everyone if that was your will.
Yes, I will do that.
You notice the portal was getting too far away, but once the haste hits, you all can, like, you're kind of gaining on it. It's moving.
I'm trying to blow on freely. I don't know if that's helping.
You see the bright red and green flashes coming out of the cloud that you know is his smite. You've seen it many times before. Coming out of there. And he's like, go.
Can I shoot my shot? I'm all
of course.
hasted. I just want to pop one off.
You
So I'm
absolutely can.
do a sort of bob and weave around.
And what
myself.
are
I've never had this opportunity.
that is true.
Looking good from all angles and just poof.
What are Karrin and Kerrin doing?
Why not a nice, good old-fashioned guiding bolt up the butt?
All right. Got
It's
it.
a valid point of entry.
Avrin. While all of this is happening, you, Avrin, feel, hold on a second.
No, don't worry, I don't feel much. Oh,
Avrin,
I'm alive so long.
In intense pain rack through your mind for 54 points of psychic damage.
That's how you do it.
And you see a glimpse of many possible futures. You see Harold laying dead. You see Penelope Half-Pint leaning against a tree, bleeding heavily, with tears coming out of her eyes. You see Celise, the paladin, standing in the streets of Waterdeep as the sky turns red and the earth shakes, lost and alone as a building collapses nearby and crushes her underneath its weight. And finally, you see Sophias wandering through smoking rubble, calling for you. Avrin, 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 my darling, Avrin. And you hear a voice whisper in your ear, you can't save them, Avrin. They're all already dead. And you all pass through the portal back into Waterdeep.
I scream into the portal. You're gonna wish you knew something as peaceful as death. I'm coming for you. All of you.
It disappears.
All right, head count. Did we get everybody? Did we get Freely?
That went well, I feel.
The red sky dissipates and the earth stops shaking. And Freely's not there.
Oops.
Oops.
I'll figure it out. Okay. Can I sense freely with anything that I do?
Through your pact connection, you're aware he's alive. You feel the tug on your power. Wherever he is fighting.
And the portal's closed?
The portal is closed.
Can I, as I like to call it, do some Rothfuss bullshit?
I like where this is headed. I very rarely deny bullshit.
I would like to cast, through my connection, my intimate connection with my best warlock. And I'm not saying he's my favorite. Can I cast banishment through our connection into him? On him.
To banish him?
back. Yes.
Absolutely. A second later, you freely appears right there in front of you, and he is back in his full form, and you can see that he is like burned, and there's like an odd black like tendrils across his face, and he's got his moon sword out in one hand and his short sword in the other. He's like,
Karrin, Kerrin, you might want to help him.
oh, hey, it worked. It worked. But Averin, you saw that, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw it, and they saved you. It was heroic. It was great.
He pushes you, and he's like, "We have to warn everyone. We have to warn everyone."
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
And that is actually a good place for us to stop. So thank you all for playing. Thank you for joining us again for episode 1 of season 2. Thank you to Mr. Todd Kenrick, interdimensional scoundrel.
Interdimensional pirate of luxury and trickery.
Better and better and better.
Transdimensional jerk.
I can't top transdimensional jerk.
Interdimensional Shia LaBeouf.
No, how?
Cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
We're not friends now, I guess.
Thank you all for watching. Of course, tune in to Silver and Steel, Beyond Heroes, D4, Rivals of Waterdeep. Am I missing anybody?
Oh, we do have a few more joining the team. So the cinematic universe is growing one by one. Everyone's going to get a visit from Uncle Averin? I don't like that.
Just keep your eyes and ears out for some red storms and some quaking of the ground. And in the meantime, we will see you all next week.
Bye.